Hello and welcome. You're watching the Wednesday edition of This Is Exclusive with me, Shavin. So ladies and gentlemen, tonight I come to you with a ground report from the indo-Myanmar border. Over the last several months, when the violence actually broke out in Manipur, questions were essentially being raised about the infiltration that's actually taking place, and whether at all there are people in the border areas with a dual citizenship. Tonight on This Is Exclusive, we come to you with a detailed ground report coming in from the border town of More in Manipur. All this and much more in this edition of This Is Exclusive, but up first, let's take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Centre also set to seal the Indo-Myanmar border amid escalating violence in India's Manipur.
राहुल बाबा, कान खोल कर सुन लो, आपकी चौथी पीढ़ी आएगी तो भी मुस्लिम आरक्षण नहीं।
Congress denies claims over Karnataka's proposal for Muslim quota in government's tenders. BJP's Amit Shah tears into the party for appeasement. Top court issues directions on bulldozer. Justice says no demolition without following guidelines of 15-day notice, but also says that illegal structures can be demolished. Encounter breaks out in South Kashmir's Kulgam. 2 terrorists suspected to be trapped. Search operations underway. A day after the political row over a routine check of Shiv Sena Chief Uddhav Thackeray's luggage, today Chief Minister Eknath Shinde's bag was also checked in Palghar. While multiple efforts have essentially been made by the government to perhaps control the situation, what we have seen in the last few months is an escalation in the violence that has taken place in the state of Manipur. Questions were largely being raised about whether at all there have been infiltration attempts that have been made, particularly in the porous border of the Indo-Myanmar border. In fact, Republic TV has now reached the last border town in Manipur to get you a sense of what's really happening. While initiatives have already been taken by the Ministry of Home Affairs to ensure that the border is completely sealed, preventing any sort of infiltration to actually take place, it appears that there are growing concerns right now of not just infiltration, but also dual citizenship.
Republic brings to you an exclusive report, hot from the Myanmar border. Watch.
It has been 18 months since the ethnic violence broke out in the state of Manipur. And for the last 18 months, Republic TV is the only channel which have been bringing you ground reporters from each and every corner of Manipur every day. Today in this special story, we are traveling to More, the town on the Indo-Myanmar border, a town of significant importance as the Asian Highway 1 passes through this small town of Manipur. What has been the situation? What are the fresh developments taking place? We will bring you each and every detail in this story.
Manipur's More, an international trade hub. Pre-pandemic numbers suggest the annual turnover through More stood around 100 crore rupees. However, with a stall in trade post the pandemic, the business community is being faced with severe losses. The ethnic violence in the state has made matters worse, bringing More's business community on its knees.
Crisis in the neighboring country of Myanmar, and also the ethnic violence which exists in the state of Manipur. What thoughts would you like to share on the situation that the traders particularly have been facing in the border state?
Ever since the pandemic, the border had been sealed, and traders, especially in More and even in Myanmar, have faced a lot of difficulties because movement of goods has been totally banned and sealed. And even people who before the COVID could move 16 kilometers on either side, they also have been prohibited from moving out.
There are, as you refer to the free movement regime, the free movement regime is now under suspension, and the government of India has also proposed to suspend the free movement regime entirely. Will it affect the business in the future also if the free movement regime is suspended completely?
Yes, it will affect, because Myanmar, being a neighbor also, we have had cultural ties with Myanmar ever since we gained independence. And people from both sides, Indians and Myanmaris, and previously it used to be called Burma, could move freely between the borders. We people, traders living in More, are mostly belong to Myanmar itself. We know the Burmese language very well, and we can converse with them, and we can, and ever since, say, after the 1964, you can say, when the business was nationalized in Myanmar, many Indians had moved out from there. They had come and settled in India, and many people had come to More again to, say, you can say, revive the business and trade with Myanmar itself. So business has been affected a lot.
Naturally, this community is against the resurrection of the border fence. They fear the restriction on free movement and sealing of the border will impact informal trade, roughly estimated to be around 500 crore rupees annually.
Because of the ongoing situation in the neighboring country of Myanmar, and also adding to the situation that exists because of the ethnic conflict in the state of Manipur, border trade in More has suffered the maximum losses. Right now we are at the office of the Border Trade and Chambers of Commerce, More. And if we talk about the business turnover in More, before the pandemic started in 2019, it was approximately rupees 350 crore per year on papers. However, in More, trade happens both officially and informally.
But with the mounting violence in Manipur and the threat to national security, this fence becomes non-negotiable. Republic TV's investigation gets you the latest on why that is.
The flat land, the belly that you see is Myanmar. A major portion of the indo-Myanmar border remains unfenced, and that has been a contentious issue for national security, as it remains an open ground and anyone can trespass into India through these open borders. Though the fencing work has been initiated, a major portion of the 288 kilometer long Indo-Myanmar border that remains in Manipur remains completely unfenced, and it has been an issue of national security concern, as not only infiltrators but insurgents are also free to sneak into India and also go back to Myanmar. And taking advantage of this open border, some people have also taken citizenship not only in India but also in the neighboring country of Myanmar. Though dual citizenship is not allowed by India and Myanmar, they are enjoying the benefits completely illegally. And Republic TV have traced down two such individuals who have agreed to speak to Republic in a confidential location.
Dual citizenship is not allowed in India or Myanmar. However, many living near the border have acquired Indian citizenship illegally. In fact, some Indians too have enlisted themselves as citizens of Myanmar.
Though the government is planning to seal the border completely with barbed fence, many people living on other side of the border, and particularly the communities and the ethnic groups and even the business community, are opposed to the decision of sealing the border and suspension of free movement regime in indo-Myanmar border. The opposition is because of the thought that it will not only impact the families living on the either side of the border, but will also have a huge toll on the border trade, which has been taking place informally.
Well, let me also go across to my colleague Anirudh, who is joining us from Imphal. Anirudh, from this ground report that you have sent us from More, what comes across? The fact that you have several people using Aadhaar cards but at the same time having citizenship of Myanmar, is that well documented now?
Yes, Awan. In fact, this particular individual with whom we interacted exclusively, he happens to be from Myanmar. He came to India around 2-3 years back, and he has obtained an Aadhaar card in India. He has clearly confessed as how he obtained the Aadhaar card. Not only that, someone very sensational fact has emerged. He has himself admitted that he is not the only person who have got a voter ID in Myanmar, but also have got Aadhaar card and voter IDs in India. He have, in fact, confessed that there are many people living in Myanmar who have documents from Indian authorities. They have acquired those documents completely in an illegal way. They have also given, in fact, biometric verification also, because in order to obtain the Aadhaar card, one needs to give biometric verification. Biometric authentication is required, and they have given those biometric details in the EU IDI system for which they have got the Aadhaar card. And this raises a serious concern. If there are many people living across the border who have got Aadhaar card, who have obtained citizenship in India, it is a issue of national security concern, and that is one primary reason why the border needs to be sealed immediately, Sawan.
Well, thank you very much, Anirudh, for getting us that latest report from Manipur. Hoping that the government is going to take cognizance of this report coming in from More, which clearly indicates that there are people who are not only utilizing services in Manipur, but also holding citizenship of another country. Well, there's a massive controversy that's brewing in the state of Maharashtra, where political leaders were essentially asked to show their bags that they were carrying during the election season. Now, that's a protocol that is essentially followed by the Election Commission of India, and that's nothing new. But it appears that Uddhav Thackeray cannot digest this. Uddhav Thackeray has taken this as a personal insult. But in return, this is what Uddhav Thackeray does when Election Commission of India officials asked him to show his bag. He tries to threaten them. Listen in to what Uddhav Thackeray did the moment Election Commission officials landed outside his helicopter.
सगळ्यांचं अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर, तुमची पाकिटं दाखवा, तुमच्या खिशात किती पैसे आहेत, सगळ्यांचे पैसे तपासा, तुमचं नाव काय,
हनुमंत बनके
हनुमंत
बनके
हनुमंत कुठले कृषी विभाग. तुमचं नाव काय?
बालाजी बेवणाळे कृषी विभाग.
कृषी विभाग. फोटो दादा या. तुमचं नाव काय?
प्रदीप पुंजे.
पुंजे. आणि महाराष्ट्रातले सगळे आहात. सगळ्यात तुमचं अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर दाखवा. कधीपासून नोकरीत आहात? किती जणांना तपासले? किती नावं सांगा पटपट पटपट.
आपली पहिलीच सभा असल्यामुळे आपल्याला
माझी पहिलीच दरवेळेला मीच पहिला गिराईक.
सर आता काय
हा?
करायचं?
आज आता मोदी येतात, मोदींकडे पाठवतो ना तुम्हाला. सोलापूरचा एअरपोर्ट बंद आहे. नाही नाही अडचण नाही. मोदींना तपासलं त्यांना सस्पेंड केलं होतं ओरिसामध्ये. आता आज मोदींची तपासणी झालीच पाहिजे. ही परत माझी जाहीर सभेची मागणी आहे. तपासा. या पोलीस दादा या तुमचं पण फोटो या.
Well, in fact, we'll try and play that out once again in a short while from now, because remember, in that video, he clearly goes on to say that, am I your first customer? Shaina NC of the Shiva Sena is joining us on this broadcast. Shaina NC, what should have been a normal protocol, it turns out an opportunity for Uddhav Thackeray to threaten the Election Commission of India.
So look at this. Every law-abiding citizen has always adhered to the Election Commission, and especially when the Election Commission... Now, this kind of bag checking or checking of a helicopter, of a car, is a normal practice. There are about 4 occasions where I can cite, whether it is Devendra Fadnavis, whether it is Nitin Gadkari, whether it is even normal candidates such as ourselves, where our cars have been stopped over 4 occasions. Everyone cooperates with authorities because eventually the Election Commission is only doing its job. It is doing its job to ensure free and fair elections. It is doing its job to just do what they feel is a random checking. Now, nobody from the Mahayuti or from any political party, be it the Shiv Sena, BJP, NCP, have questioned the intent of the officers or the kind of victim card being played. I want to ask, if they did check Uddhav Thackeray's plane and at the same time helicopter, at the same time they checked Devendra Fadnavis and Nitin Gadkari's, both of them chose not to even comment on it. Why is this such as if it's to say this is a big protocol issue? Are we above the law? Is any citizen above the law? Is the Election Commission and its authorities...
But China, they say that your party as well as your ally is staging a drama, because they say that Uddhav Thackeray was first accosted, and it was only after that, only to show some sort of a fair play and for some sort of an understanding that you have with the Election Commission of India, that you have actually staged all of it. That Devendra Fadnavis's bag is being checked, Ajit Pawar's bag is being checked, Nitin Gadkari's bag is being checked. All of that appears to be completely staged.
Utter nonsense. Let me please say, when the Election Commission does its job, you have a problem. When the Election Commission questions, you have a problem. When the officials look across the board, you have a problem. When it is selective, you have a problem. When it is inclusive, meaning all political parties, you have a problem. So why are you raking up these kind of issues? Is it a sign that you are losing your election so badly that you're worried about the optics, and that's why you need to deflect and try to play a victim card? Because if that is the case, I think it's unfortunate. Let's understand that if you see the 20th November election, the Election Commission has done its job across the board, across the state, across political parties, and be it a car. I'll tell you honestly, on 4 occasions, my car has been stopped whilst we've been campaigning in Mumbai Devi. Their car has been stopped. They ask for all the details. They check your handbag. They check your dashboard. They check your dicky. And then they even make a noting of it, even though there is nothing found. So nobody throws a big tantrum over it. What is the controversy here is my point. The point is that if you have no agenda left in the state, and if you're going to cherry pick on an election commission officer just doing his or her job, I think you're doing a disservice to independent organizations such as the EC. And please understand, routine check is not to be viewed as some kind of a protocol lapse. It is a routine check. And that routine check has happened to so many people. Nobody's even brought it up. Do we bring it up that, oh, we are candidates and our car is stopped and you're checking for money and you're checking for all kinds of objects or anything? What is the Election Commission's intent? Their intent is free and fair elections, which is part of our democracy. And shouldn't that be the focus of this debate, I want to ask?
Well, thank you very much, Shaida NC, for joining us on this broadcast. As I want to leave our viewers with the original video. The video of Uddhav Thackeray allegedly threatening Election Commission officials. What was the fault of the ECI officials? They were only doing their job, their duty of checking bags, and that's part of a routine procedure. This is what Uddhav Thackeray did the moment Election Commission of India asked him to show his bags.
हो माझा पहिला आहे पण माझ्या आधी कोणत्या राजकीय नेत्याची तपासले
नाही साहेब 4 महिने झाले मला
4 महिन्यात एकाची नाही तपासली मीच पहिला गिराईक सापडलो
नाही साहेब असं काही नाही तुमची बॅग
नाही माझी तपास तुम्ही मी तपासायला अडवत नाही तुम्हाला पण माझी एक बॅग तपासताना तुम्ही आतापर्यंत मिंद्याची तपासली का देवेंद्र फडणवीसची तपासली का अजित पवारची मोदींची तपासली का अमित शहाची तपासली
साहेब अद्याप
नाही अद्याप आले नाहीत नाही आले तर मला तपासलीचा व्हिडिओ पाठवायचा
हो साहेब नक्की
ठीक आहे
नक्की साहेब
हा तुमच्या सगळ्यांचं मी करतोय मोदींची बॅग तपासतानाचा मला तुमचा व्हिडिओ आला पाहिजे
हो साहेब
हा तिकडे तुम्ही शेपूट नाही घालायची हा व्हिडिओ मी रिलीज करतोय ठीक आहे तपासा बॅग माझी रिकवर आहे माझा युरिन पॉट पण तपासा जरा बाजूला ए बीच में मत आओ हो माझा पहिला आहे पण माझ्या आधी कोणत्या राजकीय नेत्याची तपासले
नाही साहेब 4 महिने झाले मला
4 महिन्यात एकाची नाही तपासली मीच पहिला गिराईक सापडलो
नाही साहेब असं काही नाही तुमची बॅग
नाही माझी तपास तुम्ही मी तपासायला अडवत नाही तुम्हाला पण माझी एक बॅग तपासताना तुम्ही आतापर्यंत मिंद्याची तपासली का देवेंद्र फडणवीसची तपासली का अजित पवारची मोदींची तपासली का अमित शहाची तपासली
साहेब अद्याप
नाही अद्याप आले नाहीत नाही आले तर मला तपासलीचा व्हिडिओ पाठवायचा
हो साहेब नक्की
ठीक आहे
नक्की साहेब
हा तुमच्या सगळ्यांचं मी करतोय मोदींची बॅग तपासतानाचा मला तुमचा व्हिडिओ आला पाहिजे
हो साहेब
हा तिकडे तुम्ही शेपूट नाही घालायची हा व्हिडिओ मी रिलीज करतोय ठीक आहे तपासा बॅग माझी रिकवर आहे माझा युरिन पॉट पण तपासा जर
Well, you've just seen what Uddhav Thackeray did the moment Election Commission of India asked him to show his bags. Now I want to show you what other leaders had to say. What was their response? Starting from Nitin Gadkari to Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis and Ajit Pawar. And not to forget even the Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde. It turns out that Devendra Fadnavis' bag was checked not once, but twice. On your screens right now, starting from Uddhav Thackeray to Eknath Shinde to Ajit Pawar, Devendra Fadnavis and Nitin Gadkari. Let me just put this into perspective. All of them were checked. But when Uddhav Thackeray was being checked by the Election Commission of India, he went on to threaten 4 Election Commission officials who were present, who were essentially doing their job. It's as per the election protocol where the bags are essentially checked when political leaders are out for campaigning. And these are surprise checks that are essentially done. What has happened here is this, what you see on your screens, starting from Eknath Shinde to Nitin Gadkari to Ajit Pawar and Devendra Fadnavis, none of them objected to the search that was being carried out by the Election Commission of India. But Uddhav Thackeray spent about 6 minutes obstructing the Election Commission of India from carrying out doing their job. Well, that's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. In the next 30 minutes, tonight on The Debate, Arnab Goswami comes to you with the biggest expose on infiltration.